Greetings, fellow collectors of whatever in the hell you choose to collect. My name is Chad, and I'm a hoarder. I am. It's something I really kind of wanted to delve into. Um, might not spend too long on the topic itself, but one day I went from being a collector to being a frickin' hoarder, and it can happen really quickly without anybody knowing it. And it's just something that I wanted to sort of broach with all you fine people and even you dirty shitbags who are here. So let's do it.
Is an absolute ultra Chad.
The Giga Chad, the one and only, always hated, often imitated, never duplicated. What's up? It's good to see everybody. Thank you for being here. Yeah, just gonna talk about collecting, your collecting habits. We understand like space is everyone's enemy. It doesn't matter what scale you collect, what lines you collect. Lego collectors have it. Matchbox collectors have it. Fucking stamp collectors have it. Right? We're not even getting into like that whole weird stuck in this loop of, oh, well, we only talk about G.I. Joe. Okay, sure. Yes, but no at the same time. Space is everyone's problem. But those of us who we go from like that casual collector to the completionist to just like a very seasoned collector, what's the next step? Right? Yeah. The next stop is hoarding. And I do hoard. It is what it is. I probably should have taken some photos because again, like you can say a thing, you can talk about a thing, but when you show it, right, when it's in your face, when it's visual and quantifiable, it's a lot uglier. But yeah. I want to get through some chats real quick. Again, this probably won't be like a super in-depth. It's not going to be like a freaking 6 or 8 hour stream. Not today. CG7 says, how many YouTuber toy tubers are hoarders? Me. Yeah, absolutely. I'm a hoarder. You know, you see things at good prices and you're like, oh man, I could army build that. Those would look great in like a diorama or a display where I have like, 50 grunts. Yeah. It's a little weird. I am for sure. Mother Slug says, every time I see that car in the countdown, the countdown, sorry, I don't think Back to the Future. Nope. I think of John DeLorean and his Colombian marching powder. Look, love it, hate it, indifferent. The DeLorean DMC-12. Everyone knows that car. Everyone. If it's from Back to the Future, whatever. My stepfather owned one for a hot minute. And, you know, performance, mechanically speaking, but if you took that body and you put it on, say, the rolling chassis of a brand new Mustang, that'd be freaking awesome because, you know, wheelbase and things like that. Son of GTO. Everyone who's hanging out with us today, it is Son of GTO's birthday today. Tomorrow is CJ Got the Touch. It's his birthday tomorrow. So for you two birthday boys, I'm going to give you one of these.
Wolverines! Wolverines! Hell yeah!
Hell yeah. And then Eddie's laughing because I said dirty shit bags. We know, right? If you know, you know. Everybody knows. Yeah, the dirty shit bags, right? The tribalists, the people who they create their own weird ass narratives because it has to fit their agenda. Yeah. It like everything is this like weird moving the goalpost kind of excuse. Oh my God, I did a stream and then clipped a video about Gem and the holograms and the Misfits and My Little Ponies and all this dumb shit, kitchen sink watering down of what I would argue is the greatest intellectual property in the history of boys' toys. I mean, it literally created the action figure. But no, let's do that because they're creatively bankrupt. Oh, but Hector Ramirez, it's a shared universe. Okay, so that's like saying the girl who served me my drink at the bar, the strip club, whatever, is all of a sudden, you know, freaking 10th group, 3rd group, 75th Ranger Regiment. No, it's just a girl who serves you your drink. You could use the analogy and say, the attractive girl that I saw at the karaoke bar last night. Yeah, she's a covert operative, daring highly trained special mission force. No, she's not. It doesn't matter. I don't care if they're in the same quote unquote universe world. Make Bomb Strike. That's an awesome character. There's a lot more that you could make too, but no, Gem. Why? Because weird simps want Gem and G.I. Joe? Shitbags. Yeah. Tourists. Just my opinion. You don't have to like it, but I'm going to have it. The Titan says, stunning and brave, Chad. The first step in solving a problem is admitting there is one. The second step is, what the hell do I do with these hundreds and hundreds of carded figures, all these vehicles from tons of different lines that I'm going to get around to customizing one day? Now they're just taking up space. And again, space is everyone's enemy. So I'm screwed. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. Drew G, channel member for 26 months, uses his Chad Chat trademark this face 2024 and says, speaking of hoarding, check out my Drewseum videos. Did you really use your members chat, your once a month members chat to pimp your Drewseum videos? I don't know, Drew.
That's that bullshit!
Just kidding. Yes, your Drewseum videos are freaking great. 100%. Let me go back to the regular chat. Everybody's just saying happy birthday to these two fine, awesome gentlemen. Yeah. Batstan says, hi, my name is Batstan, and I'm a hoarder, but not part of the you're not part of the community. Somewhere, Shartimus Prime. Old Russ is crying because I said that. Yeah. I have at least 12 Black Series Imperial Stormtroopers. Again, none of this is about, you know, one-upping or spotlight rangering or anything like that. I don't know if I would consider that hoarding. I mean, you have a squad. I mean, that's like a squad plus, right? Whenever we would have a plussed up squad in the, you know, really real infantry, the actual infantry, it would be 13. 2 6-man teams and a squad leader. Yeah, 13. Depending on the operation and the environment, et cetera, et cetera. Patrick Strauko, what's up, man? Good to see you, dude. Michael Zimmerman, I would like to see the collection of a stamp collector who has space problems. You would be surprised. That's all I'm going to say. You would be surprised. There you go, right here. My man, Jeffy, if you have a storage facility that you put your toys in, you're probably hoarding. Storage unit. Yeah. Yeah. I have a hope chest in there and a bunch of toys and Halloween decorations, but it's mostly toys. Yeah. Eddie says marching powder officially ruined me. As in like recreationally partaking or just the term? I don't understand. Head Cannon says the DeLorean DMC-12 was a good idea, just poorly executed. Well, yeah, it's the same thing as the Atari 2600. Once you start cutting corners, right, you just become a culture of corner cutting. Yeah, and it becomes diminishing returns. Jim Largo says Marvel Legends sucked me in, with making minor improvements to every Spoodermang figure for a while. I got over it. How many Spoodermangs have they made? I don't really care what the number is. It's, you know, it's facetious, but I'm sure it's a shit ton. Rhino Hobbies, what's crappening? Good to see you, man. Thank you for being here. Yes, happy birthday to you two fine chat holes. Just scrolling through the chat. I want all the Red Dawn characters as classified figures. I think that's going to be the running joke now. And yeah, everything's got to be in classified now, right? Predator, Snake Plissken. I've seen a lot of people make the Snake Plissken argument. Is Snake Plissken's America the America that you know, G.I. Joe is part of and defends? No, absolutely not. No, it's a totalitarian, effed up like regime, you know, brink of collapse America. I don't see how Snake Plissken applies. Now, see, that being said, I have in my 4-inch collection displays, I got John Wick, I got Snake Plissken, I got Solid Snake, I got Commander Hunter and Dallas and some others from Megaforce, Sam Fisher, sure, all that stuff. But that's us either getting those figures or customizing those figures and putting them in the display. That is not the intellectual property bringing those characters into the fold. There is a difference. I understand people don't understand nuance. Like I said earlier about shitbags, some people don't understand that not everything is black and white. Again, Gem, sure. Well, you know, Cold Slither was a band, and so was the Average Joe band. Cold Slither was mercenaries pretending to be a band for mind control. Completely different situation. Yeah. Me, Skydro, Walker, and Doodog had a nice live on IG about the dirty shitbags and then some. Was that the one earlier today that I popped into? Yeah. Mother Slug says that car could not do 88 miles per hour. No, I kind of couldn't. Yeah. Crystal Clear says my dad served with 75th Ranger Regiment in Nam. I guess that by default, that makes you 75th Ranger Regiment. And you're probably in G.I. Joe too. Yeah, Bomb Strike would be awesome, man. Sci-Fi Swamp Man says, I'm definitely guilting of the hoarding label, as you were. Everything Kenner, Star Wars, G.I. Joe 82 to 86, 84, 86 Transformers, 95 Hasbro Star Wars, up to today with 4 HasLabs, etc. $600 for storage units. At the end of the day, right? This is not me crapping on people who hoard, because I do it. I admit it. Right out of the gate, I admit it. I am a hoarder. If it makes you happy and you can afford the storage units and it's not a big deal, great. But I really like to, you know, kind of explore, how did we get from, oh, I'm just trying to complete a line. That's all I'm trying to do is complete a line, to I have 300 of this figure. I mean, that shit's crazy, right? And it's a slow slide. And then one day you just turn around and you dug yourself into this hole and you're trying to look out of it. Ken the Band says, I have a space at a local toy show in September. I'm selling off a shit ton of my 112 scale stuff. I've lost interest in 98% of them. Well, if you can make a couple bucks, then, sure. The Titan says we're all in a shared universe. Is that like some string theory shit? Some Stephen Hawking business? Boo Cat. Dude, that picture is, oof, I don't know if that's great or horrible. I kind of want a Hector Ramirez, though. Could probably just find a suit. But so I'm sure somebody, again, that's why today's stream is going to be short. I'm a little not feeling it, and I apologize. I'm sure somebody already put it in the chat, but Big Bad Workshop is making a not Hector Ramirez newsman figure. You can go find it. So it was shown at San Diego Comic-Con this year. There you go. You can get that figure, no problem. So Lunchbox Killer. I'd rather they make Sloppy Joe in Classified.
What the hell is even that?
Sloppy Joe. Okay. Give all your figures to the Bush Wookie. I apologize. I won't do 2 clips in a row. I just won't do it. Right. That's paraphrasing Beetlejuice. But I'm sure we'll get to it. We'll get there. Yeah. Drew says, I paid for it. I can shill myself. Sure. You can do whatever you want with your member chat. That's fine. I mean, you did send me a picture of people who buy boxes of ice at the grocery store. Mm-hmm. Milk Connors, never seen a U-Haul behind a funeral procession. You can't take them with you. Man, that is a great way to put that. Yeah, you cannot take them with you. And again, this kind of goes back to the whole thought process and just the idea behind being stewards of these, little plastic people and pieces of art and history and whatever, memories of our childhoods, however you look at your collecting, which is always an individual thing. If we're stewards of these things, and this is just me speaking for me, if we're stewards of these things, yeah, you're not going to take them with you. And 3 times out of 5, we burden our loved ones with all this shit that we leave behind. Like, they got to deal with it. So they have like an estate sale, or they sell it all to like a store and they just dump it on them, for pennies on the dollar. So it's just kind of one of those things, right? Yeah. Causality. You want stormtroopers. Now, I will take your joke about Imperial stormtroopers in Classified. Where's the Headhunter stormtrooper? My favorite army builder. I would buy a dozen of those. Easy. But again, I don't collect Classified, so I don't get an opinion on Gem being in Classified, right? Again, back to the shit bags, right? Mm-hmm. Kenzo says, I parked my car in the driveway. My garage is full of totes of toys. Mm-hmm. My garage has always been converted into a Joe room. Always. Climate controlled and all that stuff. And, I church it up. But, yeah, my garages are always my Joe room. I think a lot of that stems from the fact that, with the military and PCSing a lot and just kind of it got comfortable. We need Dan Sulu and Screw Baka the Bush Wookie. You know what? You guys with the frickin' Bush Wookie here, fine. Jesus. Ken the Band says, I have a 12 by 24 shed that is half full of toys. And your garage. Okay. Gotcha. 100%. Clint Allison, I only have shit tons of Hot Wheels and boxes that are still waiting for a car case. Yeah, I mean, I get you. Kenzo wants Jean-Claude Van Damme in his cameo from Breakin' in Classified. I mean, never stop dreaming. It could happen. Mm-hmm. On my video, there were people commenting like, oh, well, I read that Synergy is Cybertronian technology. I want to see that. I want to see that in black and white. I want to see proof that somewhere, somehow in whatever Sunbow, Hasbro, Canon, that Synergy is Cybertron tech. I got to see that. Crow, what's up, man? Hoarding collections of figures is what scares me away from collecting most of the other major lines I see these days. I know what I like, and that takes up a lot of room already. Now, I first of all, that's awesome, right? Focusing. I will also say that for the most part, I'm a focus collector of G.I. Joe. That umbrella is very large, though. And when the Walmart retro collection, that should never have been called that, when those figures, when that line was, quietly Minecrafted, like Hasbro always does, and the last two waves consisting of Stalker, the Cobra Trooper, the Cobra Officer, and Grunt in no particular order, those all went to $5 a figure, and you could buy as many as you wanted, 5 at a time. I took advantage of that. And I thought like I was going to do fantastic stuff with them. Nope. They're all just sitting. You know how we flip our cards, nut to butt, everywhere. So I have several wardrobes full of those figures. Yeah. Jim Largo says, I try to rotate and reduce. If I have stuff in my collection that hasn't made it onto my display shelves in a year, it's time to let it go. Yeah, I can totally understand that. When it comes to like my house and things like that, if I haven't put my hands on it in a couple months or I haven't looked for it, it's got to go. I got to get rid of it. Headcanon, are you really a hoarder if you haven't been trapped under a pile of unopened figures for days, praying that someone will find you and dig you out? You could be. I'm just saying. I mean, you never know what could happen. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Kyle Funk, what's up, dude? I pre-ordered the Lara Croft, but she's instantly going into my video game shelf. But yes, I do think collecting can quickly become hoarding. Right on. Dreadnought, what's up, man? Good to see you, dude. Thank you for being here. CC Murphy says, I think Pliskin would fit in Valaverse's near future better than Classified. Yeah, it is more of a dystopian, fractured kind of, what if timeline. Sure. Hasbro's trying to make people stormtrooper hoarders. But why? Why? Kyle Funk says, oh, shit, Chad, that beard is getting dense. I just trimmed it last night. It is what it is. I don't know, man. Certain people that are huffing that copium say that my beard is garbage, which is fine. I don't care. I don't know why you're so obsessed with my beard. Michael Zimmerman says, I don't want everything in Classified. Just gem the U.S. presidents from Teddy Roosevelt to today. The Golden Girls. It's real. Like, this stuff is real. I don't, whatever. Dreadnought, I open everything. If I get to the point of no room, I'll get rid of stuff I don't care much about to get new stuff I like. I dig that. Yeah. I used to open everything. And then one day I was like, I'm going to leave this guy carded. Fast forward a year or 2 years. I don't know. Forget it. I have stupid like click and play stuff and the Walmart Kids Connection stuff. And I got, was it Iron Man's little manta ray looking sub thing, and I'm like, oh, I'll paint this up like a transformer, and it never ends. One day you turn around and you're screwed. Titan says Snake Plissken's America is what those delusional dur think America is. Can't see the greatest country in the history of the world for what it actually is. Well, because again, right, narratives and agendas, and people see that being pro-America, loving your country, understanding that it is, right, for all of its faults, it's always been about in order to form a more perfect union. That's why, right, you can amend Constitution, things like that. But yeah, if you talk about American exceptionalism, you're an extremist. But, the people who call you extremist, not them, not even a little, right? The only person that should or could be in G.I. Joe realm, according to Mother Slug, is the T-1000, as he's the only character that has been in four different universes. Is that what you're talking about? You got to expand on that. I don't think I'm that sweaty. I need to know what you're getting at. Oh, I kind of like this take, Lord of Brooklyn. If it is neatly organized, there is no hoarding, according to Hasbro headquarters. Well, my stuff is neatly organized, but no, Boo Cat, I haven't made it up to a storage unit, but I have so many things just stacked around in boxes that I want to set up on shelves eventually. Yeah, that's totally understandable. I think all of us, we all understand like the struggle with space and, the struggle with all the other stuff that we experience as collectors. That's all a shared experience. I personally feel that all of us have that one corner, right? I'm sure a lot of you are going, I know what you're talking about. That one corner where you have just a bunch of stuff that I'm going to get to. I'm going to unbox those. I got to fit those into the display. You get stuff in the mail or whatever, and it just winds up in this corner in this pile, and then the pile gets bigger and bigger, and then you delete the pile. Then it starts over. Yeah, we've all got the pile. Ethom says, I only buy what I can display. Good on you. Good on you. Nope. War Chest is here. What's up, dude? Good to see you. Do you have any fake leaks that I can share? Dude, the fact that you trolled Viper Island with a whole bunch of leaks that were true that he thought were fake was freaking hilarious, man. That's that 40 chess. Jeffy, problem with collecting is that it's harmless. Can't die due to buying toys. No. I mean, you can't die from collecting toys. Crystal clear, for almost 20 years, I collected every Transformer that was released. Now I'm narrowing down my collection and focusing on what I truly like. G1, did you just call me a chud? You called me a chud. And Studio Series 86. Right on. Yep. I started off with the focus of I was doing all the modern figures, 2007 to like now, I guess, with all the vintage vehicles, play sets, battlefield accessories, all that stuff, and whatever drivers, pilots, keel haul comes with them. And nope, then it just spiraled out of control. I'm buying Halloween costumes and freaking cups and plates and birthday banner streamers and everything, all of it. Mother Slug, I only buy 3 to 5 of a figure for squad building. Only so much room in a 2-bedroom apartment. Yeah, you ain't kidding. I'm again, depending on the size of the collection, the duration, it doesn't matter. War Chest says, I'm picking up that Hector figure just to go with my news van. That's awesome, man. Real cool. The fact that the options are there, yeah, I mean, that's cool. That's that's one of the joys of toys these days, aside from all the bullshit that comes along with it. Mo says, I don't have storage units for my toys, but I do have boxes of stuff that I haven't opened in a couple of years. So I say, yes, I am hoarding. There you go. K-Mac, what's up, brother? If you can't walk in your home, it's hoarding. If you can, then it's not. Okay. I will take that viewpoint on hoarding. Yeah. Sure. Bootcat. Also, I wasn't aware of Big Bad making a guy like that. I'll have to keep an eye out for it. See, there you go, right? There you go. War chest hoards ammo. I wouldn't know if I would call it hoarding. I'd call it smart decision. Big Bad Workshop has done a not Dr. Venom. Now they are doing a not Hector Ramirez. Maybe they can do a not Quinn. Quinn's coming to Classified. Yeah, he's on the way. So just hang out for that. Never do 2 clips back to back. No, I mean, it's a reference to, that's why I won't do 2 shows a night. But no, I try to not do too many Nightmare Fuel clips back to back. People, they poo-poo about that stuff. I think it's funny, but the chat is king. You have to listen to the chat, what the chat wants. Wolverine, Chatmother for 26 months, uses his chat and says, what up? What's up, dude? Good to see you. Dreadnought wants to know why. Why can't we be cremated with our toys? I think due to the nature of heating up plastic, it'd probably do something weird to your little bits. Your little bits as they're burning. Bootcat, I figure if Hasbro ever does Hector Ramirez, it'll be a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive or something. Let me answer that with a question. How many people who work at Hasbro or on the G.I. Joe team even know about Hector Ramirez? I will guarantee you most of their decision makers, no, so the decision makers are not on the team, right? The decision makers, they don't know shit. They don't know toys. They don't know playability. They only know what the spreadsheets say. Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow are the most popular. We got to make more Snake Eyes. I mean, that's just kind of it. So, I mean, you get people who know some stuff in independent lines making stuff. Now, if they did, cool. But I think the only way they would do it is because Big Bad Workshop is doing one. There's all this dumbass talk about Jem being in G.I. Joe. And then they're like, oh, yeah, that's a character. So 6 degrees. 6 degrees of Hector Ramirez. Clint, I don't know why this comment posted again, but yeah, I get you. Sci-Fi Swamp Man's working on thinning down the collection. I'm working on thinning down my weird third-party stuff, and customs, because I went custom crazy for a while. Just because I haven't spent any time opening 80% of my stuff, says HollowNet, doesn't make it hoarding, lol. Do you need an intervention? Would you like an intervention? Kenzo, the sad part, I got that goading or hoarding gene from my folks, and they do that online storage wars thing. Oh, so they buy storage units or whatever? Gotcha. Mother Slug, I'm honestly leaving my collection to my grandkids. I knew that from the start. They can sell it or keep what they want, but I never open anything. So selling it will be pretty easy, straightforward on prices. Hey, I mean, that's cool, right? That is cool if that's what works for you. Ethomp, I already told my son when I kick the bucket, if he isn't going to keep my collection, to make sure they go to a fellow Joe collector. Yes. Yeah. I get you. Well, now we need a classified bush Wookie. Do we, though? No. I think the bush Wookie makes as much sense as Jem. Yep. Russ is without a doubt a hoarder. I don't give a fuck what Russ is. Just saying. Don't care. No bearing whatsoever. Yep. Lunchbox says, if I paid to take them with me, they would have too much dirt left over. Yeah, I could see that. CC Murphy, I store my adult toys, Harley Fat Boy and Vintage Mustang in my garage. No room for dollies, but I have a full basement. Man, I wish I had a basement. Yeah. Basements where I live are kind of few and far between. It's not like a water table thing. I mean, obviously I'm in the mountains, but yeah. War Chest says, I've got a kid that works for me that used to post items for a pallet place. He's going to start posting my extras on eBay in about a week when school starts back so I can blow out. So I can blow out some figures. I need room. Well, I mean, that's cool. At least you got somebody to do it with you. Out of context. David Robbins. Hope this never happens to anyone, but we had a house. Oh, man. We had a house fire 20 years ago. Burned a quarter of the house, but I started over. Now I have 5 to 6 times as much that burned. Wife said way too much. Dude, I'm sorry you had the house fire. I'm sorry. And I'm sure it's with you as it is with everybody else who's rational and reasonable and wants to be a protector of their family and loved ones. Like, as long as my human and 4-legged family members made it out of the house, fuck it. Can all burn, all of it. It's just stuff. But either way, aside from that obvious thing, it sucks. So I am sorry to hear that, but at least you bounce back from that. Clint says, if I ever die, I'm being buried with all my toys because kids won't care about anything related to my hobby in 40 years. Maybe. Yeah. I mean, maybe. You don't know. Kenzo says for the Van Damme breaking classified figure, it needs to have really good articulation. It's classified though, Batstan says, after the fire, you had a fire as well. I lost thousands of action figures and collectibles, so what I have, I treasure and buy things over again. Again, man, I'm sorry that you had a fire that took your stuff. I want Kirk Thomas from Gymkhana and Classified. This is where we're living now. The running joke. Because it's a freaking joke. Mel Connors with the $2 super chat. Thank you, my dude. And says, officer, you want Baker and Punch from Chips? How about no? That's a clip that I need. Dr. Evil. How about no? Ace's place, 3-bedroom place. My kid has the entire basement, so President Ace keeps all his collectibles in his Oval Office. There you go. But again, right, you're doing right by your kid. So Snake Plissken is G.I. Joe Classified 2027. I mean, how else are you going to make it $1 million brand if you don't use other people's intellectual properties? Ouch. Headcanon says, actually, Jem's father created Synergy. Thank you. What have I done with my life? I'm just saying, you can go look in a lot of places. I'm not trying to pimp my video. It's been out there long enough. That's the argument. Oh, well, yeah, but I read that they retconned it where Synergy is Cybertronian. CC Murphy, it's not hoarding if your stuff is cool. I have that meme in my phone. Yeah. Brandon, I really like Ramen Toy, but won't be getting into those for hoarding and budget reasons. Great though they look. Selling old stuff is tough here because everyone who would want it already has it. Yeah, that's kind of a little point to bring up too, right? As the pool of collectors I don't know if it gets smaller, but some of this stuff isn't as cool as it used to be. Yeah. Shane, I will stop hoarding Joes when Gilligan's Island becomes Joe's. Yeah, yeah. And then you take the SS Minnow, right? And then you put some missiles on it and all that stuff, and you make it combat ready. We could do that. And then Ginger and Marianne, you could dress them up like hookers, and they could be dreadnoughts, and they could be cold slither groupies. It writes itself. Let's do it. Shut the fuck up. Hold up. I got this for you. Where is it? Here you go.
Fuck! All of you!
I know you can take a joke. Yep. It's a little weird, right? Imagine being obsessed with another man's beard. Imagine having a slow news day and you have nothing to talk about except a custom that I made for my wife 5 years ago as a gift, and then talk shit. Yeah. Obsession for men. It's a real thing. Yeah. Alf and E.T. in Classified. FDR lingerie. Oh my God. Does it come with a wheelchair? And leg braces? That's what I want to know. You got that Bonesaw beard. Bonesaw's ready. Yeah. What the shit is this? Do you got the shrinky dinks? Is it a penile? Is that a wiener reference? I don't know where you're going with that. Okay, here we go. I fucking love Lord of Brooklyn. Gem and the Holograms perform for troops all over the world. Gem and the Holograms are classified. Mother Slug, I never got the idea you collect to open when a figure, but all collectors search for perfect figures. That's why open it. Dude. Okay, I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. That's not a beard. That's an infiltration device for a Mossad sleeper cell. Maybe. No, I'm not Mossad. I don't get down with the nose. Get out of here, boy. Brandon says I'd buy a G.I. Joe Area 51 bunker with those guys in cryo storage pods or something. But why? Steven, pre-orders taking so damn long makes it too easy to hoard. You order thinking you always have room, and then one day your orders arrive and boom. I could see that. Chooches, what's up, dude? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Churching up the place. Neil Temple, Master Temple himself. Dutch's team from Predator would make good Joes. I agree that Dutch's team, right, his rescue team from Predator would make good Joes, but not the Predator, not a freaking xenomorph, none of that bullshit, not the funky feral Predator that ruins Predator canon. Nobody cares about that. So, yeah. The team? Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Nico says the thing about hoarding, you have to be responsible about your space. I agree. I absolutely agree. I didn't think that I was hoarding until we moved to this house, and the space that I had available was, I don't want to say significantly smaller, but smaller. And then I started realizing, like, I needed 2 trips in a, I want to say 17-foot U-Haul, and I want to say it was 17 foot just to move my toys. Yeah. Floor to ceiling, just to move toys. And then I was like, probably got a problem. CC Murphy, personally, I think if someone wants, insert stupid character here in Classified, they should learn to customize. There you go. There you go, right there. There are plenty of customizers out there who will make any freaking Tom, Dick, and Harry in 1/12 scale for you, and you got to pay them for their craftsmanship, pay them for their work, and then you can have whatever the shit you want. But yeah, to water down the G.I. Joe intellectual property due to being creatively bankrupt is a no thank you. Crow says, when I look at the collection I have and how good I was at Tetris my whole life, I'm less of a hoarder and more of an engineer. Yeah, you got to Tetris that shit sometimes, right? T-1000 was in Wayne's World universe. He was also in T2 and Last Action Hero, which was fictional. Okay. I mean, what Wayne's World thing. Was he really the T2, or they just looked at this cop that looked like the T-1000? Yep. 49er Brian, I told my family I don't drink, smoke, or do drugs or hurt anyone, maybe some feelings. No. That's their problem. Because they don't understand my hobbies, my collecting brings me happiness, deal with it. Yeah, and I think a lot of us with significant others, they look at it like, at least they're not out gambling. They don't have like a weird addiction to stuff that's, worse for you. Chooch is, I've considered myself as a hoarder now because I have a lot of stuff that goes back as far as 2015 that was never opened. Wow. Okay. Like you purchased those going back to 2015 and never opened them? Because I mean, I think the other way of looking at that is like now you've bought stuff from 2015 that you didn't open. I think you're saying you purchased them then. Yep. But do you need more than one Dr. Mindbender, though? No. Charles, I don't have enough yet to be in a hoarding situation, but I'll get there. There you go, man. Aim for the bleachers. Neil Temple, I have almost 900 figures. Once the collection is too big for shelves and they're all over the floor, then it's hoarding. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, right? Yeah, same thing. Not getting into the number of figures that I know I have, but all the stuff that's just, nut to butt Tetris, like Crow was saying, in this cabinet, that cabinet, this wardrobe, this nook, that cranny. Yeah, it's just taking up too much space. Jim Largo, mostly harmless. Isn't that what the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy said about the Earth? I believe so. Yeah. Ace's Place says, I bought one NECA figure last year. Now I'm 200 deep. But if you have the space for them, you know what I mean? I went from collector to army builder to hoarder. Bing, bang, boom. Pretty much just like that. Magna figure. Famous last words of every collector / hoarder. I am only going to buy. Yep. From personal experience, that's how mine started. When my operating tempo with the army started slowing down, and I was like, okay, now I can really, like, I always had like, these figures or this kind of a, collectible or a statue or something. And then I was like, okay, now I can focus getting everything 1/18 scale G.I. Joe. At first, I said, I'm only going to get some figures of my favorite characters. And then one day, I don't remember how, but I decided to pull the trigger on an 83 headquarters command center. That was it. Well, then I need the vehicles for the bays. Then I need the towables. Then I need the battlefield accessories. Might as well get some more vehicles. Yeah. Now I'm a hoarder. CJ says, I should pull the trigger on Skywarp 86. I just keep fearing, what if I don't find the new 86 Starscream? Also, I want huge Decepticon figures for classified. Well, if you collected the Lord scale, you could just use the masterpiece versions of those Transformers and it'd be just fine. Just saying, right? Mass shifting. Transformers have mass shifting. It's all good. Milt Connors. Hector Ramirez is fine, but I want Ron Burgundy in classified. So we can say, go fuck yourself, San Diego. Most of our obsessions are mostly harmless, but not best practices, says Jim Largo. I don't know. I mean, yeah. Oh, am I insensitive? Oh, this is for you, Eddie. You insensitive little baby cry.
Chad, how insensitive of you.
Yeah. Lord of Brooklyn. Can you see the ceiling? Then you're not hoarding. Can you see the floor? Then you're not hoarding. Hoarding toys is different than, shut-ins who hoard trash. It's right. Same word, different, totally different concept. Mother Slug, I play the game The Floor is Lava here when entering my house from all the toys I have. I'm not a hoarder. Are you sure? Kenzo, I starred your request about a certain clip of a certain person because I can't do two back to back, right? Sci-Fi Swamp Man, who wants an O-ring Hector Ramirez? Bueller? Not me. Give a fuck. No. Nightmare Fuel always makes me laugh. Hell yeah, dude. Justin Booth. I only army build figures in 1/18 scale. Same. But still takes up space. 20? No. 100? 500? Yeah, then you got frickin' problems. Jeffy, I only know one person who ever wanted a Hector Ramirez figure, so he made his own, and that was Shane. Well, now everybody's going to get one. But wait, there's more. Yeah, but now it's the greatest thing in the world, I'm told. Isn't that the same thing as Fury Force? It's interesting when the new shiny thing comes out and people measure their worth and their value based on the new shiny thing, and so they have to jump on that bandwagon. Yeah. Nobody knew fuck all about Fury Force except for like 8 people. Yeah. But now, hey, Larry Hama, Fury Force. Drew G, I hoard because all the ways to sell are greedy, and I don't want to give it away. There are exceptions for friends. Yeah. I think part of the holding on to stuff to where it almost turns into a hoarding situation is the fact that we all know what we paid for these items, and then in our head, because we're emotionally attached to them, right, there's an intrinsic value associated with those things, and so we don't want to let them go for what a mom and pop shop or somebody else is willing to offer for them. And so it's like, no, I'll just keep it. Next thing you know, you're keeping everything. So we made one, didn't we, Chad? A classified Wookiee? Yes, you did make a classified Bush Wookiee. I have it. 100%. I sure do. Bobby Vance, what's up, my dude? My resin printers are taking up my space to display my stuff. That's another thing, right? Once you expand your hobby to do things like 3D printing or customizing, like I had to take up a lot of much needed space for, my customizing area and all my racks of paints and Dremels and this and that and all your fancy little tchotchke tools. Yeah, man, I feel you. Absolutely. Hey, off topic. Who remembers the Silver Bullet Coors jet? I don't. What are you talking about? No. The only jet I remember is that looks at all like a Coors Silver Bullet is the Super Saber. Matt, what's up, dude? I need to thin down my collection. Just don't know what I can part with. Many of these have, meaning to me, my interests are just too diverse. Diversity, huh? Diversity, you say? Yeah, I feel that, man. Medieval Alchemist, what's up, dude? To the Fellowship of the Dollies. I think that fellowship dissolved. Codename Hunter, what's up, dude? I have a storage unit because I lived in a shitty studio in a shitty part of town so I can save up money for my condo. Emptying my storage unit now into my new home, so worth it. Hell yes, that is awesome, man. Congrats. Yeah, I mean, that's the way to do it. If you got to store it, right, you store it for a purpose. Some people store things because, it's like Gollum, right? It's mine. Well, actually, says the Titan, the Bushwookie makes more sense in classified than gem. It's already downrange. Yeah. Yep. It's already snooping and pooping in the bushes. HollowNet. So no one's building a giant crypt and taking their collection with them. Is that what you were looking for today? The admission of someone like, nope, that's it. It's all going with me. I mean, you could kind of do like an amalgamation of what Talker Art did, right? You get like a Connex, also known as a shipping container, bury that thing, put all your toys in it, and there you go. You don't even have to display them. Just chuck them all in there. Yep. Crystal Clear says, just wait. Tom Brady will be a member of Cobra in Cold Slither. Why, Tom Brady? Why? Mother Slug, I just realized I've been watching you now for 12 months. Wolverines, hell yeah.
Wolverines! Hell yeah!
Oh, I owed Kenzo the shut up girl. That's all right, man. We still got it. Crayon, what's up, man? Good to see you. According to Billy D here, this is a quote from his father, probably. The only thing you nerds should be collecting is pussy. I can say that, whatever. Some people won't say it. I'll say it. Michael Zimmerman, giant funeral pyre burning my body and my collection as a bonus to the toxic fumes will likely eliminate half the town. They might. Yeah. It's like chlorine gas, man. We're singing the Kickboxer soundtrack. Okay. If we're going to be ridiculous, let's get all the Inhumanoids in classified. I enjoy hearing Chris Latta scream decompose. I do enjoy that, but I know a lot of people say, oh, well, it works with eco warriors. But does it have to? CJ, I want a full GIF of that Dr. Evil scene. How about no, you crazy Dutch bastard? Also, I want classified Dr. Evil as a member of Cobra. Is that with or without his ridiculous chair? Yeah. And what about Mini-Me or Scotty? Yeah. See? That's it. Right? Opening the floodgates. 100%. G.I. Joe 66 says, hell no, collecting is not hoarding. People just need to get bigger houses. That's one way. I suppose that's one way to do it. Yeah. Jim Largo. So what's a good criteria to figure out what to keep in your collection and what to jettison? I think that's a good conversation as well. I don't know. I guess stuff that doesn't speak to you anymore. Maybe a line that you completed that you're just like, yeah, I'm done with that. I don't know. It's such a personalized experience. I don't think that you could literally just make a blanket statement. Everybody goes, oh yeah, 100%. No. Charles says, I got my oldest son collecting Transformers. That's what I'm talking about. I asked why he doesn't get into Joe's, and he said, I'll just get all yours when you're gone. Made me proud to hear that. Long game. It's playing the long game. Titan says, dang it, Chad, stop selling me on Gilligan's Island and Classified. I can't. It's a brilliant idea. You know, we just got to turn the SS Minnow into a PT boat and get everybody quote unquote combat ready. You know what that is. You guys know what that is. I'm not going to play it, though, because I owe Kenzo something. Crazy Sith Canuck. I like that name. I'm on a major budget. I can only get maybe one, maybe two figures, and it always has to be under $100 a month. That's good, right? Keeps you from going out of control. So I won't be able to afford any of the ramen, toy, or HasLabs just because of budget. Yeah. Yep. It's just getting pricier, so. 66 says, I will be hoarding Vipers soon. It's called army building. Well, there's a big difference between army building and hoarding. Big difference, right? That's kind of the conversation. All joking aside, a lot of us army build, but army building can become hoarding. You know, a squad, a fire team, a platoon. That's different. Even a company size element is different. When you have enough figures to make your own freaking brigade combat team or your own battalion, you're talking thousands of that one figure. That's hoarding. That's hoarding. 100%. Still talking about Shrinky Dinks. I know what Shrinky Dinks is, but we're not talking about freaking shrink. Oh, do I have the G.I. Joe Shrinky Dinks? Yes, I do. I'm sorry. I didn't know that's. I just saw somebody was talking about freaking Shrinky Dinks. Eddie wants the Golden Girls in Classified because he wants everybody to know he's not part of the toxic masculinity crowd, right? He's in touch with his feminine side. But they come with a bag of Colombian marching powder. They'd probably come with a bag of freaking Metamucil, man. Yeah. I got there, Milk. Yes, I do have the Joe Shrinky Dinks. I'm sorry. Nazareth. Did somebody say hookers? Oh, now I got to play it. Shit, Kenzo. I'm sorry, man. I love you. I'll get there.
Ay, mira.
That's a hooker. That's a nightmare hooker. Jedi Ben. Sorry. I keep all of my collections in my shop. 5,000 square feet, and it's maxed out. I've tried to stay disciplined. My voice it's rugged today. In recent years with the toy room toys that's in said shop, it's out of hand. 5,000 square feet, that's pretty freaking big. That is pretty damn big, dude. Have a lot going on, trouble chatting today. Mother Slug, sorry to hear that, dude. Yep. Hookers and blow sounds like my kind of party. Jesus. Kenzo says, I would buy the Dylan figure, even though he's a son of a bitch. Man, Chad is going to hate the Ghost Recon Joe Predator mashup shot I'm working on. Nah. If you're talking about like in-game, no, that's awesome, man. That's a huge part of the longevity of Ghost Recon Wildlands with me is all the Joe characters you can make. It's fun, right? Bolivia is a real place in the really real world, even though G.I. Joe is fictional. Yeah. 66 says, I don't hoard. The overflow goes to my daughter. Then I have to buy more again. My daughter doesn't want my freaking Joes. Not even a little. Justin Booth. Tell us how you really feel, Justin. Just because the band Cold Slither bangs the shit out of Gem and the Holograms in the green room doesn't make them classified. To all of you that want it, there you go. Yeah. I heard. Yeah. Anyway, G.I. Joe 66. I only have 38 Vipers. I need at least 50. I don't think 50 is hoarding. Again, like army building for a purpose is one thing. Hoarding is when you turn around, and I think it's a little bit different. Headcanon says Macari is starting to become a problem for me. There's a lot of real American hero stuff in decent condition on there at good prices. Also parts to finish vehicles with missing broken pieces. Well, you know, as stewards of your little dollies and shelfies, then you can complete them. Yep, and safeguard them. It's not hoarding when you check in and drink water. Ah, come on. Look it. I'm going to get this out of the way because I owe this shit to Kenzo right here. And plus, you guys all like looking at it anyway. So not like I got to sell you on this.
Everyone does it. Now you can do it too. Shut your mouth. Shut up. Shut the hole in your face. Like that.
You're welcome. The Titan says, Sergeant Major the Google. Sergeant Major's never wrong. Hoarding is a mental health disorder characterized by persistent difficulty discarding possessions regardless of their value, leading to clutter that disrupts daily life. I mean, the first part of that applies, right? Persistent difficulty discarding possessions. There you go. Just like Jim Largo said, how do you decide? Mother slug. At most, the most I have at the house here, 400 figures, never opened, not counting the ones I have in storage. There you go. Thor Grimm, look at this. I freaking love it. It's not hoarding. I'm curating history. Good on you. Good job. I appreciate that. I really, really do. You know, I need to get rid of this. Yeah, let me do that. Sorry. YOLO Park AMK Pro Transformers must look awesome next to the Lord scale. They do. So do the action edition blockies. Yeah, they do. Robert's Infinite Realms. I lost count on my figures at 1,600. Combo 112, 118 with some oddities here and there. We will see if I have space when I finally get my collection room done later this year. There you go, man. Sometimes when you put it all up, it spreads out real quick. Medieval Alchemist. I had to buy a Pursuit of Cobra, Snake Eyes, and now I'm over 1,000 figures deep, including my whole collection, Transformers, Joe, Valiverse, Silverhawks, Bravestar, Machina. And it started with Pursuit of Cobra, Snake Eyes? Dang. Milk, it's good to see you. Thank you for being here. Look, this, I feel this. Michael Zimmerman says, I used to install DirecTV. I've seen hoarding and other horrors, and I'm not there yet. Agreed, right? But hoarding toys it's definitely on a different level of hoarding. It's just the persistent difficulty discarding. We don't want to discard our dollies, right? Because intrinsic value, emotional attachment. But I understand anybody that has spent time going in and out of people's homes. Wow. Northern Nomad, what's up, dude? I'm selective with my collecting now, you suckers. Dang. Jesse from JLS Comics, what's up, my brother? You know who's a hoarder? Smaug. Smaug. That damn dragon. He would be a hoarder. But again, right? Value. Either perceived or however else you value something. After much deliberation, ladies and gentlemen, in the chat, Dreadnought K6 would like to see Snorks in Classified. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's freaking terrible. Yeah. People talking about Corey Haim and Silver Bullet and all this shit. Crystal clear. I don't envy the guy who needs over 25,000 Miles Mayhems to make a mile of that character. Yeah, whoever that isn't, that Toy Polloy, or we were talking about it last week on Mandatory Fun. Oh, here we go. Thinking outside the box. Here's a solution. A crypt made out of my collection. Would you stack them? Would you melt them? How does that work? I don't know. Effing game 1. Oh, look at the Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander. I'm having all my toys melted and poured in the coffin. There you go. There you go. I kind of like the funeral pyre and, acrid poisonous smoke. I like that idea. Tom Brady's going to be in G.I. Joe, not Cobra. Got it. Thievin. I'm hitting my mid-50s next month, so mortality thoughts enter my mind, causing me anxiety because I love them so. Yeah. Right. A lot of us, I would argue, a lot of us are in our 50s around these parts. Jim Largo and a couple others, they're a little longer in the tooth, and some others are not yet in their 50s, but the reality is we're not long for this world. Got about 20 good years left in you. Laser Pants would love what? I'm sorry. When I'm behind on the chat, I don't know what the comment is in reference to. Yeah, oh, Jesus, headcanon. I want to be cremated and my ashes baked into bread and fed to my enemies. Oh, Lord. Mother Slug. Newest toy I got last week was a Hot Wheels Premium 1/43rd scale 1995 McLaren F1 GTR for $12. Nice. It pays to wait. Buy later. First release costs $65. Well, yeah, again, I mean, that's the whole conversation of, it's a marathon, not a sprint, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, I went from having no Sergeant Savage P40 Warhawks to having 2, one complete loose and one complete sealed in the box. Yeah. But the first day I was like, I don't have that vehicle. I need to rush out and go find it. It was expensive. JLS Comics, I want to be cremated, put into an hourglass so I can still join the family on game nights. I don't think that would work. It doesn't have the weight of sand. And yes, I actually do for no reason. Batstan says, no, seriously, my collection goes to Mrs. Batstan when I die. Yeah, I mean, mine will, I don't know what mine's going to go to. Mine's probably going to go to my fucking retirement to, it was going to be Italy, but now Italy's overran with, engineers and doctors. A bunch of migrants who don't give a fuck about Italy. Yeah, so I don't think I'm going to be retiring to Italy. I wanted to retire to the Amalfi Coast, but no. Because that's what happens when you allow the third world to invade you. You become it. Brandon R. with a Canadian $11.16 super chat. Thank you, my dude. What toy maker is going to make a custom urn of your favorite figure to store your ashes in? Who's your figure? Who's your daddy? Wolverines. Hell freaking yeah.
Wolverines! Hell yeah!
I don't know if we're actually supposed to discuss this. Talk amongst yourselves. It's Coffee Talk with Linda Richmond. Who's your figure? Fucking lowlight. Yeah, because he's boss as shit. Who's my daddy? Well, he's dead, so don't worry about it. Yeah, it would be an urn of lowlight. And I don't know if a toy collector is going to actually like make that out of clay and fire it and all that stuff. So yeah, I don't know. Mikhail's Navy would fit in classified. Odie walked in the room like, really? What's up, girl? Brown coat. I got my 18-year-old godson into collecting back in 2019. That's the way to go, right? Share the passion for the hobby. It's my intention to leave everything in my collection to him, and he can do with it as he wishes. He really loves my Valaverse Action Force. But again, we're stewards. Not everybody sees it that way. It's the way I see it, but it sounds like you're kind of doing the same. You're stewarding these things until you can pass them on to your godson, which I think that's rad, dude. Really good. Mm-hmm. Michael Zimmerman, I army build if they hit Ross or Ollies. Otherwise, it's one of each. Luckily, has the will to do at least 2 of every army builder. There you go. Yeah, Kenzo, there's your girl for you, buddy. I told you I'd get there. I got you, boy. Dreadnought. On top of the snorks, I would like Captain James Tiberius Kirk and Ally McBeal. Ally McBeal, kids. This is what you get.
Personally, I think you're a fucking idiot.
Ally McBeal. In all seriousness, though, Dreadnought says anything over 100 of the exact same figure is hoarding. 100 is a cutoff. Well, I am definitely a freaking hoarder. 100%. Jim Largo says, I kind of went overboard on Valiverse Steel Brigade and Republic Guard. For most toy photography, you rarely need more than 5 figures at a time. What about if it's toy activism? What are the rules on how many dollies you can have in a fucking photo in your toy activism shit? If there's any toy activists here in the comments, maybe you could school us all on that. HollowNet, I don't have a battalion of any trooper. The most I have are a platoon of Pursuit of Cobra, 30th, 50th Vipers. So good. The others are anywhere from a squad to 2 squads, at least for Joe's. Here's the thing. Now, you're talking about like the 86 Cobra Viper, right, in modern form. But here's the kicker. If you have a collection of Vipers, that's not just the 86 Viper. Think of every type of Viper that was ever made. Alley Viper, Techno Viper, Toxo Viper, Laser Viper, on and on and on and on. By the time you get a collection of all of those Vipers alone, it's dozens. Same with Battle Android Troopers. Look at every type of Battle Android Trooper. And I'm talking like from the 80s to now, to include like Inferno Bat, Nano Bat, Jungle Bat, on and on and on and on and on. I have a shelf, a whole shelf with tiers that's nothing but Battle Android Troopers. So you turn around and you're like, well, there goes that shelf. Zakanin sucks. Channel member for 25 months. Surprise, we need a Sydney Sweeney positivity. I don't think she's in here. She is not in here. The palette cleanser, Sydney Sweeney in a red dress, that's only for mandatory fun. Yeah. But because I love you, I'm gonna give you this instead.
Can you quit saying that I look like Buffalo Bill? Because it's not funny. You're not funny at all. And you're not original.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to ruin your Chad chat, but that's all I got. That's the closest I got. Yeah. JJ Dubecki, what's up, buddy? If you have to store it and not enjoy it, what's the point? And this was kind of the interesting part of the conversation that I wanted to get into with everybody. It's just a light, we're just chatting, just doing talking head shit. I'm sorry, I'm not going to peruse Amazon so you guys can buy shit with my affiliate link, which I don't have. That was the textbook definition, according to the Sergeant Major Google, which somebody put up in the chat earlier. If you have a problem letting things go, right, that's one of the basest descriptions, the lowest form description of hoarding. So, Okay, Brandon, I've seen someone hoarding their own piss. Yeah, there you go. Brandon T. Sanders says, when you're having to sleep on top of it. So technically, does that mean that a lot of us are hoarding our significant others? I don't know. I got nothing, man. Just, trying to have fun. Mother Slug, real hoarding, the person has no control over what they're doing. And it first starts with shopping. So before you're a hoarder, you're actually a shopaholic. I kind of like that. Yeah. I mean, there are hoarders. They can't stop buying stuff and they have nowhere to. Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? Are you coming to say hi to everybody? Here, let's move this out of the way. You want to say hi? Ladies and gentlemen, this is my puppy. This is my baby. I know you all know who she is, but she wanted to come say hi. Yes, she did. She needs some love. Oh, hi, Callie. I love you tons. Yes. Man of Action says, I'm seeing more bandwagon jumping. So these tourists don't even know what they are doing. So they all go overboard, buying the figures all up and taking them home for the street cred. There is a lot of that. There is absolutely a freaking lot of that. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. We all collect for our own reasons. And I think at the end of the day, if your motivation for collecting is social media clicks and likes and follows and dopamine rush, whatever. I mean, that's for you. That's your thing. Weren't the Snorks the porno version of the Smurfs? God. Your collection, that's hoarding. I have my collection and then I have like the hoarding stuff. Yeah. That's what I would agree with. Yep. Mother Slug says, I asked for Snorks last week in classified. Okay. We got to give that to Mother Slug. He was the first. TJ, what's up, dude? Good to see you, brother. You will enjoy the Predator being back in Wildlands, and for some reason, I don't remember him being this hard. I mean, I beat him easily a dozen times back in the day, but now, no. Now he does like cheap shit now. So, JJ Dubecki, standing member of the 50s Club. Dreadnought says, I'm cousins with the Grim Reaper. He says a lot of you are overestimating how much time you have left. Dang, man, that's rough. Rockabilly Skydiver, what's up, man? Got to check the replay. Have a good stream. Replay squad is always appreciated, my friend. Have a good one. Yeah, this one's not going to go super duper long. So, Brandon R, pretty sure my collection will be 90% yeeted. Yeet! In the city landfill. That's dirty. Dirty, boy. And then Dreadnock's letting everyone know they already have urns with Paul Bearer. What if you're not a WWF WWE fan? Asking for me, because I'm not. Well, I don't know why we have a lot of chats just duplicating, but that's fine. It just makes it harder for me to get to the bottom of it. CJ has the touch. Again, whose birthday is tomorrow. So if you haven't wished him and Son of GTO a happy birthday, if you're late strolling in here, by all means, wish those awesome people a happy birthday. Or don't, whatever. It's your choice. CJ says, I thought about it really hard. I decided I want Teddy Ruxpin in classified. But again, they have to make him combat ready. Combat ready. I love people who have never been to combat talking about combat ready. You have no idea the shit show that looks like. Man of Action, I need more arms for 82 Joes. Like you need the arms of 82 Joes to repair 82 Joes. Dan R, what's up, brother? It's good to see you, man. Black Sheep Squadron and Hogan Heroes and Valaverse 1944 line. I don't even know if that makes more sense than Gem and the holograms and Classified or not. But again, that's what happens when you kitchen sink stuff. Mother Slug says, I was thinking about having all my plastic figures melted down, turned into, oh, Jesus. Oh. Just so you can still play with yourself after I passed. Good Lord, man. Dreadnought says, I'm getting buried, not my choice, but maybe I'll have a special headstone with a window box and I'll put my Cobra Commanders in it. There you go. Make sure your headstone doesn't face east-west. You want it north-south because then they're just going to turn into white freaking globs. No legacy, not worried about it, probably tossed away. Oh, no, Jeffy. No. Toys are not for activism, nor are they for sticking them in your ass.
It's science, people! Science!
Lunchbox Killer. Today at Target, I bought 2 retro cards and a big lob and a laundry basket. The laundry basket was the cheapest thing. Yep. There you go. That's the state of toys these days. A fucking laundry basket's cheaper. Yeah, no, I have the Vindo Viper. He's in the Viper collection. Thank you. Toy activism always has those large protest crowds, more than 5. I'm sure they do. I was just cracking a joke. Usually it's like, a couple of police officer figures, because, that's how they roll. Etc., etc. I used to hoop with a guy who owns a company that specializes in headstones and tombstones. He did my younger cousin's headstone, all engraved with a picture from a wrestling match. Well, that's cool. Hey, here's my response to toy activists. Do you need it again? Okay. Here.
Fuck! All of you!
Yeah. Medieval Alchemist says, popping in and out. Well, at least you're not pooping in and out. Listening to ya while I get things done. Pursuit of Cobra Snake Eyes got me back in. I know we've talked about collecting before, but that figure got me back in the game. Shit, yeah, man. There's always one, right? You just need that one spark. How the frick is that Buffalo Bill? That's Buffalo Bill Part 3. Part 1 is the original. Part 2 is, and Part 3 is that one. How is that making up for Sydney? It's not. I just had to do it. So, Guy Willis, you basically just described my collection. I have 18 Cobra Troopers, but there's several different versions, right? I mean, there you go. It's real easy to, go from so many figures to so many figures. Yep. Actually, Howard Hughes collected his own piston jars. Don't care. I mean, I know at the time he was like maverick genius. Yeah, it's my baby, my Callie. I army build, but I cap it at 30. Most are around 3 to 6. There you go. Callie, everybody's saying hi to you. You okay? Everybody's saying hi to you. She's lying right behind my chair. Looks sad. I collect to fill the gigantic dark abyss in my soul. It's like Johnny Ringo, right? It's got a big old hole right through the center of him. You can get a Kiss casket. Who would want a Kiss casket? Nobody, because Kiss sucks. Longbox Bandit, what's up? Good to see you. Yeah, she is a sorry. Again, my voice is just fried today. Jim Largo said there is something to be said for the little endorphin rush that comes with a new shiny thing. It's alluring. There is. Yeah, absolutely. You know, the thrill of the hunt. We all get, emotional reactions from that. Some of you poop your pants. JJ Dubecki, I think all collectors should be on comfortable terms with themselves and their collecting habits. If you are going to hoard, at least know you're doing it. And that's why I wanted to discuss hoarding. I am straight up a freaking hoarder. 100%. I didn't want to talk about dumb shit or, any of the nightmare fuel fuckery going on or any of that stuff today. I just wanted to talk about a topic that just kind of bridged everything. Again, it doesn't matter what you collect, right? There's collecting, there's completionist collecting, and then there's hoarding. And that's why I wanted to talk about that. Are you saying happy birthday to me? It's not my birthday, but thank you. I appreciate it. I love you. Yeah. You know what we need in classified, says Man of Action? Cabbage Patch Kids. What about Adventure Team? Can we do that? Yeah, just stand by for that. The Teddy Ruxpin when the batteries are dying sounds like an evil MFer. Yeah. Does Combat Ready for Teddy Ruxpin have to include the thong? The one that Jem's going to have? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Hey, here's a little math for you. If 15 men and 15 wives are on a train going 120 miles an hour from Albany, New York to Mobile, Alabama, how many of the men have straight arm snake eyes? Statistically, I don't know. Bobby Vance, since we're kitchen sinking stuff, how about Laverne and Shirley in classified? Then we can have Lenny and Squiggy. There's already a Lenny in classified. Yeah, you could have Lenny and Squiggy versus Cold Slither and Battle of the Bands. How about Mork and Mindy? Oh, is that what toy activism is for? Oh, well.
Community.
Nope. Mrs. Doubtfire's Zartan 2-pack. It was a run by fruiting. Brandon, I saw a video with a bum in Niagara Falls, hard on his luck collecting anything valuable from the trash. He joked about a bag of Richards because that's what he found. Wow. Gotcha. All right. So if we're really curating and not just delusional, how are we encouraging younger generations to appreciate our stuff? Yeah, I like that approach as well. Even though like the curating history was freaking hilarious, right? Because that's what it is. I mean, all this is historical pieces in one way or another. But there are certain items in my collection you don't touch. There's other stuff in my collection. Yeah, sure. I mean, you want to play with it? Play with it. Yeah, when my kiddo was younger, she would have friends come over and be like, "Yeah, you can play with it if you want. It's fine. Just depends on what it is." Zero. Hey, all. I'm a Gundam hoarder. I built 96 kits and I have 150 in my backlog. That might be. They need Alf in classified. I know. I was just making sure. I'm sorry. It is what it is. A classified playset of a Toys R Us, and boom, all these dumb ideas can technically be in classified. Classified doesn't do playsets. They can barely even do Battlefield accessories. I want a freaking classified Mr. French from Family Affair. Mother Slug, this is never going to get old. Someone now needs to make the joke live at a con in front of the Hasbro team. I mean, I would. I fucking would, but yeah. Classified Mr. Belvedere. Need that. Kardashian HasLab stretch gold are Bruce Jenner's his twig and berries. Kanye West figure with presidential candidacy attire. And a Scott Disick. I don't know shit about the Kardashians. If we get lucky, maybe we also get a Lamar ODs at the Bunny Ranch figure. Oh my Lord. And I would back 5 of those. Classified Mr. T and Sergeant Slaughter could be the new duo. I mean, which Mr. T is it? Is it B.A. Baracus? Is it Clubber Lang? Is it the DC Cab? Which Mr. T? Yep. Is the insensitive Chad guy actually Emily asking for a friend? No. This is Rainbow the Hutt, if that's who you're talking about. This one right here? This one? Now?
Chad, how insensitive of you.
No, that's Rainbow the Hutt. Crystal clear. I made a 112 scaled bar for my Joes to get shit faced. Well, they are service members, so aside from the Air Force ones, they don't get shit faced. Yeah, they're too enlightened. Yeah. Justin Booth says classified playset would be too expensive. Not to mention it probably would scale well with the figures. As in, like it would be too small. Is that what you mean? Yeah. Brandon R. Can we just agree that marine mammals belong in the ocean, not in zoos? Chad, disregard this random. What the fuck, man? It's got to be Night Elf Mohawk Mr. T. What is that? Okay, here we go. If we're doing Battle of the Bands, we need these in classified. Josie and the Pussycats, which are far superior to Gem and the Holograms. The Muppets Electric Mayhem. Banana Splits and the Max Rainbow Band. Did my Chad chat not go through? No, here it is, which is weird. TJC channel member for 27 months since day one uses his Chad Chat trademark. This face 2024 that I just now saw. Evening Legends, Wolverines. Hell yeah. Here you go, brother.
Wolverines! Wolverines! Hell yeah!
How's that? Is that better? I don't know. I don't know if the chat jumped or what. I'm sorry. Yeah, I would like to see them do the 83 headquarters command center. I mean, they're putting out all the vehicles and the towables. You might as well give them a headquarters. That would be a true dream projects, for the customer base. I don't want to call it fans, for the customer base to pay for the molds. Instead, you get the Snowcat. Because Snowcat, that was supposed to be its own price point, along with the Thunder Machine, that you're now going to get without Thrasher because, yeah. I'll make sure to let my friend know it's not Emily. No, that's not Emily, 100%. Now, it would have been awesome, and I'm just saying, I'm sure somebody somewhere is going to make a freaking Instagram reel about this and say, look at how insensitive he is, which no shit. Let's go back a couple of years to like body positivity, purple hair, give me your pronouns before you speak at the microphone, Emily. And get her to say, Chad, how insensitive of you. How freaking awesome would that have been? Now I definitely need a time machine so I can go back and get that. Yeah. I've been meaning to ask you, Chad, is Rainbow the Hutt a dude? I can't tell. I assume it is. I was wanting confirmation. No, it is not. That is not a dude. In fact, there's a lot of clips of her around. You just kind of have to go down the rabbit hole of doom scrolling and find them. But yeah, she's a woman, you know, again, right? The Oppression Olympics, 96 disabilities, looks like that. Never leaves the house. Yeah. No, it's a woman. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Maybe Classified should do the extras figures in a different adjacent line. It's weird that somebody thought of that already. It literally gave them the blueprint for it. Yep. TJC says, just checking as my app has been playing up on my phone lately. I mean, it was in the starred comments, but I didn't see it like this one that I see right here. So yeah, I don't know, Terry, but I mean, thanks for keeping me legit, man. I appreciate it. Suda Huba channel member for 7 months. What's up, dude? I own, probably not 6,000 figures, but I'm not a hoarder. I'll take that. I will take that. Yeah. I never understood one of the 6 U.S. forces, Space Force. When has that ever been used? I don't know, man. I don't know. I know that, again, right, we talk about narratives to fit agendas and all this stuff. And because I have a hat that says make collecting great again, which means like a million things. And it's funny. It's funny. I am not the boot-licking Trump tard that these fucking retards want to say that I am. Space Force is dumb. It's dumb to create a whole new branch. And like in the Army, we're soldiers, right? In the Navy, they're sailors. In the Air Force, they're airmen person. Marines eat crayons. Space Force, they call them guardians. Bro. If you've ever seen a Space Force person walking around, like, you wonder how they don't swallow their own tongue. It's stupid to create that branch. I don't know what they do. I think they like track satellites and space junk and stupid shit. They're not a real branch in the military. If the Air Force is like the lowest of the like put in work kind of branch, Space Force is under that. And actually, there's only 5 because the Coast Guard is Department of Homeland Security. Did your guy's sound just die? Seriously, I can't hear Chad. You can't hear me? Can you hear me now? Brandon, can you hear me? I don't know. Sorry. Hopefully it wasn't me. Still say we should have gotten the Havoc for the HasLab. I haven't seen it, only heard how it looked, and it's fucking awesome. Yeah. Snowcat wasn't even part of those focus groups until the very last one. Yep. And then I wonder why, because they didn't want to pay for the molds. Mm-hmm. Is she not a purple-haired lady anymore? Are you talking about Emily? No, she's not. She's not all purple-haired out anymore. So the tears. Oh, the tears. Super 7 Reaction Plus should be bringing out Cobra Snake armor and more vehicles should look. Anybody who remembers when they were trying to pimp that Cobra mothership, they had a massive display of all the stuff for their Reaction Plus line, to include the Cobra robots, the Snake armor, the Cobra flight pod, and that's why when they, oh, hey, we're going to have these as San Diego Comic-Con, people like lost their minds. It's like, apparently you don't remember that display. Yeah, play sets and unproduced vehicles and, you know, things like the Cobra Aspid have sort of always been on their radar, but once the mothership bombed, they backed up. off of a lot of stuff. Still wind. It's funny, Hasbro will make all these vehicles for classified, but couldn't make any really for the modern era 4-inch. I mean, there were some, yeah, but you got to chase that Marvel Legends money, man, and then overcharge and make the customers pay for it. All of it. I'm fine with them doing vehicles without drivers as long as the price reflects it. It'd be great to army build drivers like the Hiss driver if drivers were sold separately. Pepperidge Farms remembers when the modern line did that. With every, I don't want to say every single one. That's kind of a broad stroke, but yeah, they did do that. Disregard speakers just died. Womp womp. Oh, are we going to get Morrissey in classified? He's fucking mopey enough. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He came to one of my shows once. Well, one of my band's shows once. Yeah. He's an interesting individual. Oh, of course, Josie and the Pussycats are superior to Gem and the Holograms. Hell, they get their own spaceship later on. Looks like a huge wiener. But nevertheless, the Pussycats have a spaceship. Pussycat, wiener spaceship. Go figure. I'll allow it. Yeah. And they got a live action movie. Anybody remember that? Parker Posey was in it. Yeah, they had a live action. Josie and the Pussycats, but not Jim. Charles says the prices on classified have gotten crazy. I only buy what I really like. I focus on buying my Lord Scale collection. Amen, brother. The Lord Scale welcomes all. The Lord Scale holds all. Yep. Wolverine says Space Force has been a pain in my ass. Dude, I bet. TJC says I may have a quick blast on the Predator level on Wildlands as I'm still wide awake. May the odds be ever in your favor. He's a lot trickier than he used to be. I don't know why. Maybe it's just been that long. Awesome Powers. That ain't no woman, baby. That's a man. Well, she is a bit mannish. The fucking movie's so good. Oh, okay. You're singing, frankly, Mr. Shankly. I got it. I get you. I'm there. Wolverine, they have no buildings, so now that their headquarters is in Huntsville, we have to give them our skiff. Oh, dude, you had to give the freaking Space Force your skiff? That's that bullshit. Sorry to ask the question, Chad, about Space Force. All okay on the Coast Guard. Yeah, Coast Guard have been they've been under Homeland Security for a hot minute. Yeah, they haven't been DOD. Hey, back on track. Dreadnought says I have around 400 figures total, and you guys definitely make me feel like I'm not such a nerd. Thanks again to the guys with pussy kryptonite size collections. You bring me much relief. Sorry. Anywho, I had to. Yeah. Space Force takes the alien probe, so we don't have to. I find it interesting how most of Chad's random sign language ends in middle fingers. Do they? I mean, I was just doing this. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. Space Force base in Orlando has a harp. I hope you're kidding. G.I. Joe 66 says Cobra Mothership is not a bad thing, just needs a better paint job on the outside. I think, look, again, we all see things through our own lenses, but the fact that they were charging HasLab's pricing for Super 7 quality for a line that had 0 figures out, none. He launched Reaction Plus with that mothership, with the promise of reaction plus figures to come with it, which he did wind up releasing the figures because I got several of those because the Viper Gunner was never made. That should be Reaction Plus's wheelhouse for Joe. I just think a lot of people weren't feeling it because, again, there was nothing out for that line yet, and you're going to come out of the gate with, what was it, a $500? Actually, I don't remember. Yeah. Instead of the mother's hips, they should have made the Terror Drome 2. No, you start small and build upon it. Make the Cobra Aspid, make the freaking segmented vehicle that G.I. Joe had, and what was it, issue 3 up against the October Guard. Make the October Guard 6-wheel vehicle, things like that. Like make shit like that. Go back through the comics and the animation, which is where Reaction Plus has their left and right limits, and just say, you know what? Nobody ever made that. We're gonna let's make that. There you go. Sure. The Hasbro diorama at San Diego Comic-Con looked like cold shit, says Mother Slug. What's sad is that someone on the team of Hasbro looked at that and said, yeah, that looks great. I've heard that, but I haven't seen it. Like, I didn't look at it. I would have to go watch some Toy Tubers shit and look at it. So I'm not going to do that. Yeah, Jeffy, you're absolutely right. Space Force folks still signed up to serve. That's a lot more than what some of us can say or do. Yeah, I mean, only 1% serves ever. So I'm allowed to shit on them. That's what we do, right? I paid my entrance fee to be able to shit on other branches, just like everybody else in the Army shits on the infantry because they wish they were. G.I. Joe 66, Hasbro could make vehicles for both lines combined into one of the 3.75 to 4-inch figure types. Most of the modern figures will fit in Real American Hero vehicles. Not all of, but most of. You just kind of have to get creative of which ones fit in which vehicles. So, Gem has a live action movie? Live action, Gem. Eddie's Figure says, speaking of the Lord Scale, shout out to Chad and Dewdog. I'll soon be a happy owner of some 84 Joes. Shit, yeah, dude. That's what I'm talking about. Chooches, Chad, if you were to take a squad of Cobra Shadow Guards, which branch of the military would they most appropriately resemble? Do you have time to comment on the loadout you'd give said squad? Well, obviously there would be a couple riflemen. One of them would probably be your compass and pace man. Your squad leader or section leader, or depending on the composition, disposition, density of said element, would most likely have an ACOG. So they don't have to use binos to identify things. They just look down that fixed 3.5 optic. You would definitely have a squad designated marksman of some sort, either an M4 with an ACOG because it's still effective at 600 meters, or you could use like an M110 SAS. Wouldn't necessarily have any kind of a sniper element. I would have at least one machine gun team, if not two. Again, depending on composition, disposition of said element. And I would say Shadow Guards would probably be Marine Raiders. How about that? Right off the top of my head. What do you think? Oh, and you'd have to have a Grenadier, at least one Grenadier. In there, you would also have to have your TSE team, your Technical Site Exploitation team, your Aiden Litter team, which is like your, Casevac, Medevac kind of a thing. You would have to have a EPW team for any possible enemy prisoners of war. But if you aim small, miss small, and use controlled pair, then you don't have enemy prisoners of war. You know what I'm saying? Because they have their subscription canceled. Yeah, they'll probably have a breaching team, things like that. What do I know? Yeah, breaching and demo. Crocodile Dundee. Is Crocodile Dundee here? Nowhere Manchild, what's up, brother? Chad, sad news, but Ben Jones, who played Cooter on Dukes of Hazzard, just passed away at 84. Sorry to hear that, man. You said DOD. Curious if you know what DODX means. Yeah, Department of Defense. I don't know where we're going with that. That was a minute ago. So, yeah. DeNazareth, Chad. Hey, what's up, dude? Watching your videos has taught me that I'm a homo for having FOMO. And collecting large amounts of dollies makes me a hoarder. Oh man, I have options. Which one? Eeny, meeny, miny, Bo?
Racist, sexist, homophobic.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Chucha says we're planning to mine the moon beginning around 2030. I don't know. Do you guys remember way back in the day when Ronald Reagan was president? You guys remember Space Station Freedom? That never happened. Remember when we were all kids in the 80s and it was like, oh yeah, we're going to have flying cars and live on Mars, and none of that shit. Yeah. Because too many nations got to pay for dumb stuff. I'm not really going to expand on that. I'm just going to leave it there. I'm sure a lot of you know where I'm going with that, but yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, Dodix. I'm sorry, Dodix. Gotcha. Railhead. Yeah, Railhead. The fact that HasLab Rattler can't easily be taken apart to, say, put back in the giant fucking box is such a short-sighted design choice. Really, I didn't know it can't be. TD3 Trooper, what is up, brother? Channel member for 3 months says, what number of figures equals hoarding? Yeah, I don't think it boils down to like, right, this number is hoarding. I think hoarding is like everybody's kind of been talking about throughout the past, 2 hours and 43 seconds. Nobody's counting. It's just this like compulsory purchasing all the time. Like you're just buying, and then you just take them home and you just drop them. Everybody has the corner or the pile or, the shelf that turns into several shelves, that turns into storage units. Like that's kind of what hoarding really is. Like there are people in the chat here that have storage units full of toys. Not because they're moving, like one person said, but because they just have too much shit. So, yeah. I don't know. Zakanin Sucks says, I shit on one of my coworkers. He was a reservist Marine in peacetime. Yeah. Gem live action movie bombed so hard it was pulled from theaters within 2 weeks. Didn't even feature the Misfits until a post-credit scene. That is that bullshit. Oh, it was low budget Blumhouse? Get out. Lame. Junkian Crafts and Builds. What is up, my friend? Channel member for 12 months. My name is Junkian and I'm a hoarder. Oh well. That's how I started this today. I am a hoarder. I am also a hoarder. No, I'm a Jomosexual. I get a lot of gratification from the joy of missing out when I see a lot of people climbing all over each other to get the same shitty, overpriced dolly. Just me. We all have our own way of walking through life. Oh, Matt says, I have my Space Station Freedom comic book. Yeah, I've talked before about the Challenger disaster. I was actually in Vero Beach, Florida, at Indian River County Middle School, where you could just watch the space shuttles take off. From my world history class, we watched it explode right out the window. Yep. But are there space lasers and rods of God? I got your God rod right here, man. Oh, no way. Matt says my stepmother was an alternate for the Challenger mission. Oh, she dodged that. DJ Bill Utley, I haven't bought a figure in almost a year now, prioritizing guitars, pews, and paying off credit cards. There you go. There you go. Another hobby, self-preservation, and, being fiscally responsible. Dreadnought says Rattler and Dragonfly both risk breaking tabs if you try to get it back to disassembled. Interesting. Apparently they didn't follow the blueprint well enough. I mean, it is what it is. A lot of people wouldn't dare try to take the blades off their OG 80s Tomahawks because if you don't do it right, you are F-U-K-T, fucked. Wolverine says, I'm listening on my cell phone now in my storage unit full of toys. Oh, no way. John Chu directed the Gem movie? Dang. Baldy is such a mama's boy. Is he? Hi, I don't know who this is. I have an idea, but I don't know who it is. I think it's the one that always goofs off with the screen names. No, Jeff. Dark humor. I'm just going to put it on the screen. Oh, the Titan got my laser guns and battle tank mug yesterday. It's rad. Dude, that's awesome. Yeah. I made some LGBT merch. I mean, it is LGBT, right? Laser guns and battle tanks. It is on the store. Super 7 can make a Cobra Rattler just a bit more durable and chunky. Super 7 and durable. I don't know if those go together. I don't know about durability. So, yeah. We have a sweet view of the Kennedy Launch Complex in Eastern PSL. Not as good as Vero, but still exciting. Right on. Yeah. Hasbro can make the F-47 Stealth, or maybe Operation Recall could make it. Hasbro ain't going to make fuck all new. I'm not trying to dunk on Hasbro because it's like low-hanging fruit. It's just they are risk-averse. They are risk-averse. They just like nostalgia, member berries, nostalgia. That's just kind of where they're at. So Sci-Fi Swamp Man says, in my defense, we did move, so half my storage is from the old house and will be emptied when the... Yeah, I mean, that's way different, man. That's way different. 100% different. I mean, I have a storage unit. I have a bunch of toys in it, but yeah. Anywho, that's kind of all I wanted to chat about tonight with all you awesome people. Yeah. It's one of those things. Just have a nice generalized conversation with a bunch of people. Talk a little bit of shit. Just a little bit. Some people need shit talk to them sometimes. I've seen Space Explorer, I think, at Daytona Beach in 87 or 88. Right on. So, other than that, I want to thank you all for hanging out with me. Nothing too crazy tonight. Tomorrow, for mandatory fun, I don't even remember what we're going to discuss. I mean, it's up, it's posted. I will reorient myself to that in the morning. But yeah, Matt says he hopes I feel better and get my mojo back. No, I'm good, man. I'm good. Just late night. Just one of those things. But other than that, I'm good. I'm feeling good. Yeah. But yeah. Mother Slug, man, I hope you're doing okay, dude. If you need to talk or something, just hit me up on the old Instagrams. I'll gladly chat with you and listen to anything you want to get off your chest. Because that's what super toxic assholes do. Anyway, thank you all for being here once again. Thank you to everyone who's been making mandatory funds such a success. It's really starting to kind of take off. We're 2 weeks in, and nothing's off limits for mandatory fund. Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern. I wish you all the best rest of your Sunday as possible. Remember, it is the Lord's scale day. And I will see some of you tomorrow. And if not, I'll see the rest of you on next Sunday. And I'm going to see you out with this shit.
Ay, mira, 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 mira.
Hey, potato! Hey, potato!
I was going to leave. I was. And then I saw this bullshit. Chad could rock a Frank Zappa mustache and soul patch. Just saying. Probably could. Thanks. Thank you. Maybe. Anyway, yeah. Have an awesome night.
La da da dee da 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 da. La da da dee da da.